The Facebook science videos are fast becoming popular with viewers on this channel. So to highlight the absurdity of it, we are once again delving into the murky world of Facebook science. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Right, back to today's Facebook science video where we kick off with this absolute belter. All by design, baby. Man-made virus hoax. Can't fool us. We know your codes. Hashtag elite Gematria. Hashtag Luciferian. Hashtag demons. Hashtag Killuminati. Hashtag Freakmasons. Corona has 6 letters, equals 666. Ah yes, Gematria, the useless invention that is literally nonsense. I'm sure there are countless 6-letter words that give you a value of 666. Ah, here's one. Family. Makes a lot of sense, that one. Moving on. Did you know that satellite is an anagram of latest lie, and they were thought up by a science fiction writer and known Freemason, Satanist Arthur C. Clarke? Did you know that satellite is also an anagram for Tesla tile, which is actually quite amazing? And actually, Arthur C. Clarke was born in 1917, and the word satellite originated in the 16th century. Next please. Did you know garlic helps remove pain in ears, ear infections and headaches quickly and effectively? Simply put a cleaned garlic clove in your ear. It fits perfectly in ear as an earplugs until you feel relief. Ah yes, keeps the vampires away as well. No way that a vampire goes near your neck when you got a piece of garlic in your ear. Moving on please. Did you know wrapped ginger can remove mucus from your lungs in just one night and can completely stop a bad cough? Now honestly, do people really see this sort of thing on Facebook and then go, ah yes, I must try that on my child next time they get a cold? Lunacy. Moving on please. 1. Why are the first populations died? They should be evolving until now and becoming angels. 2. I have not seen a fly become a cockroach, for example, in my life. Any example change of kinds? I think it is a belief more. 3. If monkeys are our cousin, why are they still monkeys? Firstly, I have to say that this appears to be one of the most incoherent arguments I've ever come across. And secondly, things don't evolve like Pokemon. You really think that evolutionary biologists would be happy with the fact that a fly would turn into a cockroach right in front of their very eyes? And number 3 is the worst argument I've ever heard in the history of anti-evolutionist arguments. And it quite clearly shows they know nothing on evolution. And also, what's a cockroach? Veganism is satanic. That's why they call it Satan, Satan, meat replacement. Morning star, another name for Lucifer. Satanism opposes nature, as does veganism, not one vegan society in history because it's an unnatural diet. Do they not understand what these meat replacements are actually made of? Some sort of mushroom, I believe, isn't it? I mean, you can't get much more natural than that, literally living off the land. And seriously, linking veganism to Satanism is quite simply absurd. Next please. Third eye fact. The ancients used sound to heal. In Malta, at the oldest underground temple in the world, there is a room called the Oracle Chamber, designed to vibrate sound at 111 Hz, which scientists now know kills cancer cells using the powers of the 11th harmonic. If that truly is the case, then why hasn't everyone on Earth with cancer been cured using these harmonics? Now, don't get me wrong here, I'm not claiming that sound is completely useless in medicine, but to claim that a single frequency cures all cancer? Come on. Evolution is genuinely believing that if you sit 100 monkeys in a room with typewriters that, given enough time, they will eventually write Shakespeare by complete accident. Well, that's more about probability and infinite theorem, but I guess it sounds a bit silly. However, no more silly than a talking snake being able to influence the smartest animal that ever lived. Moving on please. How strange. 1. When we reincarnate, our past life is erased, so we can start with a clean slate and not carry our wrongdoings and guilt into this life as we have lessons to learn in life. 2. Spirit can't change sexes or into animals. Female spirit stays female and male spirit stays male. And before anyone gets on the debate about transgender, everyone has DNA, but the female carries the chromosome RNA. When a female is pregnant, this chromosome sends messages through the spinal column to the fetus of what gender it is. So the right gender spirit moves into the fetus. If the RNA is destroyed or weakened in any way, the messages to the fetus get distorted too. The wrong spirit enters the fetus's body, female spirit in male body, and vice versa. Wow, so much nonsense in such a small paragraph. Where to start? There is no reincarnation, males have RNA too, and RNA isn't a chromosome. And the gender of a baby is related to the sperm that fertilizes the egg, not some secret spinal column message. Whew, that wasn't easy. Next please. Oh yes I did. Cinnamon and honey. Drug companies won't like this one getting around. Facts on honey and cinnamon. It is found that a mix of honey and cinnamon cures most diseases. Honey is produced in most of the countries of the world. Scientists of today also note honey is very effective medicine for all kinds of... Now, whilst I don't doubt that honey may have some healing properties, I don't think it could be cultivated to cure almost all diseases. Name some, please. Any examples? Seriously, people believe this stuff? They must be crazy. Just a little joke there. Wrote that one myself. I'm here all week. Next, please. Do you need any more evidence? Implemented health passports, suspended civil liberties, censored opposition, created two classes of citizens, forced healthy people into isolation, banned certain demographics from cinemas and restaurants, forced people to undergo unwanted medical interventions, used the media to control public perception, forced certain demographics out of their professions. I mean, even if this was all true, you are missing the illegal invasion of several countries and the mass genocide of an entire race, amongst others. Sort of leaving that out there, aren't they? Moving on, please. If gold was more desirable, the paper bills, people wouldn't be selling it. Think about that. Now, I am thinking about that, and quite honestly, it's an amusing statement. Now, of course, gold is worth lots and lots of those paper bills, which then themselves can be exchanged for almost anything you want. I've never heard of anyone buying a Ferrari with gold bullion. Next, please. Riddle me this. If the sun is 93 million miles away, why does it light up the Earth but not outer space? Because it is space. Everything that is in space that is a physical object is lit up by the sun. Space itself is not a physical object, is it? Dear, oh dear. Fear. Low frequency, long, slow wavelength activates very few DNA coding sites. High frequency, short, fast wavelength activates many more DNA coding sites. Love. I would really like to see a scientific paper or two on this. But as usual, it's just an unverified meme that makes people think that these things may or may not be true. Ridiculous. Moving on, please. Posting anonymously because I'm embarrassed to ask. This has caused a lot of debate and hoping you ladies can shed some clarity on the issue. My husband is sure he is right and is becoming very frustrated and mean to me over this disagreement. So backstory, I had a rhinoplasty done before I got pregnant. I made a comment recently that I wonder whose nose the baby would get, and I said hopefully mine. My husband has a big nose and mine is literally perfect. Well, he is saying either way our baby will have an ugly nose since I had a beak prior to my rhinoplasty, but that doesn't make any sense to me. My nose now is cute. The baby should get my present nose, right? Not my past nose, even though I haven't had that nose for years or while being pregnant. My husband keeps saying no, it's what you were born with, and compares it to breast implants, but it's not something added to my body. It's a modification that is now part of my DNA and should pass on. SOS. Oh dear, I'm afraid that your husband is correct on this one. Babies obviously inherit genes that you yourself have inherited from your parents. No amount of changes you make to your body will change that. I mean, it really does say a lot about the general state of education if you have to ask this sort of thing, doesn't it? Our final post for today is coming up. Evolution, a fairy tale to explain to gullible people how the world got here. The irony is literally dripping off this sign, isn't it? Honestly, how can religious people actually state these sort of things without laughing? Quite simply hilarious. Well, that wraps up another Facebook Science video, which means we're all done and dusted for this week's Tinfoil Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching, it truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed it today, then please do consider subscribing to the channel. There are another 6 Facebook Science videos for you to go and watch. And obviously, if you really like today's, then hit that like button too. Just enough time to once again thank Kamakoto for sponsoring today. Remember, visit kamakoto.com/SimanDan and use the code SimanDan to get an extra $50 off your purchase. I have been SimanDan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you all on Friday for the return of Mr. C.C. Chris from New York, Westchester County. See you then.